Welcome, Sagittarius, to your Sagittarius September 2021 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, for those of you who are stopping by for the first time, and for the subscribers, much love and affection to you as always. You know, I think a lot about you during the month, and I'm sent good energy your way, which I am convinced you will feel from time to time. Because when I go into the other realm, it always works. And of course, I've done personal readings for some of you, haven't I, during the course of the last month, from different parts of the world. And if you would like to have a reading with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information which is in the description box. But now we're going to take 5 cards to find out what is in store for you for this month. 5 is all we need, because it just depends on the numerology, the astrology, the suit or element of the card, how they interact with one another, and where they're positioned on the reading table here. And they always have plenty to say, haven't you found that? Let's see what there is. First of all, the 2 of Swords. This is 14 Temperance, 7 of Discs, the Lovers. Interesting, very interesting. And there is the Green Man. What might the Green Man be? Obviously, the deck developer has used terminology that we are not always familiar with, but it doesn't matter, does it? Because of the things that I mentioned before, and already it's coming up. I can see. I'm not going to give anything away. Come and sit down here next to me. We'll have a good close look at these cards together while I do the reading for you. There now, can you see those? Let's have a look at this first card, shall we? Which is the 2 of Swords, and it says creative differences, indeed. Well, let's see what there might be there. With the 2 of Swords in the first position, first card drawn. Well, in this painting, it is portrayed, and it portrays a man and a woman, each holding a circular shield. Now, where the 2 circles come together, you can see that here. See where those 2 circles overlap there? That creates a shape of its own. This coming together of the 2, forming a third, is also reflected, I think, in the twilight sky that's here, the joining of day and night. And I think that this energy here reminds you that you can move beyond an orientation where duality means divisiveness, and appreciate how 2 can come together in harmony and beauty. There could be 2 points of view, 2 ideas, 2 energy fields. It is about 2 adding to each other rather than cancelling each other out. Now, the astrology of this card here, where it's placed for me, is that of the moon, ruling the first decan of Libra, 23rd of September to the 2nd of October. This is, I have to tell you, a very happy combination. Did you know that your moon sign describes your instinctive or emotional energies, you know? With the moon in the sign of Libra, I think that you are likely to have a deep need for peace and harmony in your life. Libra, as you know, is symbolized generally by the scales, isn't it? But this relates to any area of your life requiring balance, I think, and this can include your personal environment, work, or relationships with others. But the purpose of this energy here, I think, for you this month is about neutrality, being neither good nor bad, so balance. I think this is also saying to you that there is going to be inner peace that you have here, and the power to make decisions, I have to say. Decisions regarding a situation or relationships which also engender spiritual peace. There's agreement around here, mental stability. Inner peace is a special gift. Protect it, but never try to cling on to it. Do you understand what I mean? You might also find during the month that you could be having a hard time making up your mind about something, or making a choice between two or more things. It's nothing really big, I don't think, but it is something I think that is sitting in the background, and it surfaces up every now and then. You might find yourself dealing with the pros and cons of a situation. You might also find that you are in a situation during the period where you lack the information that you need to make the right decision at the particular time. If that's the case, just hold on. Just hold on. Let the moon move. The moon, of course, is the fastest moving planet for us around the Earth, because you will then get the right information. And when you do, it's like the light goes on and you can see the situation for what it is, and you'll be in a much better position to make a decision which is right for you. There is a resolution also, I think, at a subconscious level. Two issues or situations or choice or relationships have already been integrated, I think, at a subconscious level. And your mind comes up with peace concerning two polarities. And soon you'll experience the outward signs and evidence of that mental integration, I think. What areas of your life, incidentally, are especially important to you? You can now come calmly to the necessary decisions. Take the time for deep relaxation. You are in a good position to examine your past, present, and future. Maybe even write down your insights. But during this period, have this thought in mind, and it is: deep peace fills my heart. Let's have a look at the card which is on this same horizontal line, this being the card of Temperance. And what does it say? Integrating polarities. Well, isn't it funny how these things work out? We were really just talking about the integration of polarized thoughts, opinions, decisions, situations in your mind, and you come into peace. This is a confirmation further that this is doing it, because this is the card of integration, the melding of two elements into a greater whole. Now, often what you are integrating are parts of the psyche. Now, often when we talk about integration, we mean the integration of two parts or two energies. So it's appropriate, I suppose, that we see in this picture here two people on the card taking an action that knits them together. Their feet are on the ground and their arms are lifted to the heavens as they bridge these two dimensions. There is a sense of swirling energy, isn't there? Rather like mixing a cake batter. But what is being mixed here is much, much larger. It is the mixing of heaven and earth, as well as a call for integration in general. I think this energy more specifically is a call to integrate the spiritual into the material aspects of life. It is a call to bring down the cosmic energy and ground in a daily living situation for you. You know, this indicates that it is a time of integration for you. So look deeply to see what levels this is happening on. Sometimes the integration is far enough along that it can be seen and felt easily. At other times, this may indicate that there is a need to resolve a polarity or integrate an aspect that you have kept at bay. But you are going to do so. This first card has already told you that this is happening. You might want to experiment with ways to do this. What is most important is that you make room for and value the parts you have judged and kept separate. Well, I just feel like doing this Lover's card, which is here, and this wants to have a conversation with you, I think. Now, it is talking about love in the highest octave. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me, I think, because love is actually the highest octave energy that you or I will ever experience in the physical plane. Now, themes related to love can be, they're dotted all throughout the tarot cards, I suppose, but the primary love card is this major arcana card, the Lovers, and it represents the most developed expression of love. I say it is love in the highest octave, and that's also reflected there. It is the higher point of view or higher state of consciousness that comes when your heart has been transformed by love. Now, in this painting here, the higher state is represented by an angelic figure, which I see as being this big bird thing that's here. And it looks down from above, doesn't it? And at the center of this being is the sun. This could be thought of also, I suppose, as source or God consciousness. The two small birds circling. You see these two little birds here? Well, little birds compared to that one anyway. Well, they're circling towards the sun, and they mirror how two beloveds can move closer to the source, to the divine, through the energy generated in their love relationship. The lovers at the bottom of the picture are part of the stream of life, reflecting how being in love often creates a deeper sense of connection with all of life, doesn't it? This card, I think, is the meeting ground between human and divine love. It is where human love jumps up a rung on the ladder and becomes more universal and unlimited, more closer, more like and closer to divine love, and where your spiritual sensibilities enrich your relationships with others. Now, there isn't really anything else that can really test our boundaries more than human intimacy, is there? It provides both a mechanism of transformation and of motivation. It is love that keeps our feet to the fire, love that motivates us to work through the difficulties, learning to tolerate the most sensitive and raw places in your psyche. It is love that melts your resistances and love that melts the boundaries. It melts the psychological skin that separates you from others. Love is about merging, about union. Of course, from the non-dual perspective, where everything is one, union doesn't make sense because there are no separate parts to be joined. This is when we are in spirit. But down here on earth, from our usual perspective, this is how we experience it. To become one. The experience of union is central to both, to love making and to mystical forms of spiritual practice. We let go of our separate self and merge with the absolute, with the divine. And although human love relationships can become the context for merging, we often don't take them to the furthest level. Our focus is usually our human beloved and safeguarding that relationship. We hold on to the other as the source of love, forgetting that it is your love that is so intoxicating. If you can claim that love as a capacity of your own heart, you will be less likely to get fixated in your attachment to particular others. Then you become a true lover, not just within a primary relationship, but lovers of the world. Then it is no longer just the love object that causes your love. Then your heart, you see, it continuously spills over with more love. You become more compassionate, more accessible, more easily touched. The heart is soft and tender. Sometimes it is said that the heart is broken open so that the whole world can be placed into it. Well then, where shall we go to next? We've done that. Well, this is an interesting card here. Let's have a look at this. This Seven of Discs. The title is Incubation. Incubation indeed. Well, let's see what there is going on in the painting to start with. Well, in the painting, it looks like there's a bear. You see this bear in here? This bear, not this one at the moment. I'll come to this in a second. But there is a bear that's hibernating while two cubs grow in her belly. Next to her, a sparkling path over a frozen pond spirals inward to a crescent moon. It is not the full moon with its illuminating light, but really rather the dark moon. What is happening in the dark of consciousness where no one can see? Yeah, this is an interesting energy, I think, here. Now, this mother bear that's here, she is protected in her vulnerable state because she's hibernating, so that's vulnerable. By this spirit bear, it's protecting her, I think. Just as you are being protected during this period, you are being protected. Now this bear, the spirit bear, is watching over her. Now, do you know bears are often a symbol for protection? And in the state of incubation, well, that's really one that does need safeguarding, isn't it? And we must keep it free from interference and from our own restlessness and striving. To push something before it is ready is to risk a premature birth. Although a premature baby can be placed in an incubator to continue its development, we can't always return our projects and relationships into a protective womb, can we? No. So sometimes it's better to wait until the gestation is complete. Now I'm getting this feeling of waiting here for gestation to be complete because I have Saturn in the third decan of Taurus, that 11th to the 20th of May. Well, Saturn is the slow-moving planet, and Taurus is a plodding, fixed earth sign. And together, put them together, you might feel there's some sort of stagnation or incubation, I suppose, is what there is here. So it could be that there's going to be some delay in payments. You should be looking more towards long-term results, perhaps, with respect to a project or activity that you have underway. There is nevertheless slow but steady growth going on here. And it could also be that you feel that you are working through a dry spell. Now, incidentally, and this isn't like you, but it might be that your ability to deal with things is becoming blocked by dire and fearful expectations. And if that is the case, then stand back and let Saturn move. Let it move. Because those expectations are going to turn out, the dire and fearful ones, not to eventuate. Do you know, when Saturn shows up on the scene, that can sometimes give rise to fear. And fear is a big factor in our failure. Well, more particularly, it's better to say that we can very often give up before we even start because we have a fearful expectation. So don't get caught in that trap. Doubt is not something that is to be with you. In fact, when we get to this card here, which is the cavalry coming into the situation, you'll find that these doubts of what you expect in a fearful sense will not eventuate. Now, if you've been trying in a relationship setting and you've done everything that's possible to do, you have really genuinely tried everything with them, and it's not just a romantic relationship. It could be a customer relationship, it could be a supplier relationship, it could be a social relationship, it could be a friend that you've fallen out with and who just doesn't want to do what's necessary to try and get back together again. Then it might be time to just cut your losses and go. The main thing is that you don't permit your ability to deal with things to be blocked by heavy and fearful expectations. You should now look at their content and quality carefully. Look really, what areas of your life worry you the most? Write a complete list of what your worst expectations are, and then take another piece of paper and change each fear into its positive opposite. And keep working with those lists and change them when necessary, and decide consciously. Maybe look for someone who will support you with this. But at all times, though, during this period, and if you do find yourself getting into that mental rut at some stage during the month, say this to yourself then: I have the courage to believe that all that happens in my life serves for the best. I am willing to release all that is not serving me in my life. Well then, where are we? We have, as it turns out, we have, in a sense, got the save the best till last. This is, of course, Major Arcana number 4, and it's said to be ruling in harmony with nature. Well, I think you'll be doing more than with just nature, is the energy that I'm getting up with this one here. More ruling than just ruling nature. Now, the Green Man. Well, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Well, the Green Man, this is the Emperor. And it represents the principle of power and leadership. It also represents what can be called father energy. Or don't be put off by that if you're female. Parental energy. Look, women have a great degree of power. They use it in a way very often which is different to men. So don't be put off by that when I talk about father energy if you happen to be female. Although the Emperor really is pictured here or painted here in a form that really isn't really actualized very often in our culture. The Green Man leads, I suppose, not by lording power over others, but by encouraging others with a vision of the possible. He can empower others because he is secure in his own power, and thus he's not easily threatened. He holds his authority lightly and leads by example rather than by command. The Green Man embodies a sense of balance, of insight and confidence, as well as will and the power to make and do. Because he is in charge of his feelings and ambitions, rather than being run by them, and he knows his own weaknesses, he can avoid many of the shadow issues that often trip people up who are in positions of authority. Now, this card here is astrologically, and this will tell you the power behind it. It is Mars ruling Aries with the Sun exalted. Now, he's called the Green Man. I think you'll be primarily concerned with power and control over other people or even over yourself, you will be seen as a natural leader and organizer. You'll have a great degree of willpower and judgment. And judgment, that's good because it's the result of your life experiences. There's certainly going to be success that you'll have as a result of discipline and application. Now, you will actually be quite a rational thinker, despite, or even though you may have emotional issues going on at the same time. I think that status is going to be important to you, as is material stability and security. And I think you could even find, maybe not so much as this green man here. As I said, I see more to him here, but you could be volatile and fiery at times, really not passive at all. The energy that's coming up here is one of a pioneer, a leader, a discoverer. There's creative wisdom involved. Urge for action and adventurousness, new beginnings for you here. Order is coming into your life, structure, certainly a great degree of ambition, and maybe taking a firm stand with yourself or a firm stand with someone else. It could also be that you get promoted to a more senior role in your area of work. This energy here really is heralding, speaking of the beginning of an enterprise or a new phase in your life. This new beginning may be an extension or an expansion in the realm of rule, dominion, or mastery, or the conquering of new territories as you see them in your life. Now, on the material plane, the new beginning may mean a starting of a promising new project. Could be a change in job. Travel is what I'm getting around here as well. Certainly parenthood is something. And on the inner plane, you may well find that you get new realizations emerging. Insights in areas previously unfamiliar. Or there's a dramatic self-revelation or self-discovery. They're also possible here, I think. As long as the energy here is used for transformation and new beginnings, then the effect is going to be beneficial. But beware of using it just to hang on to things, to keep things, because when it's used just to hang on to things, the structure of the green man, his realm petrifies. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, what a fantastic month for you. Great to see you again, and thank you very much for watching. It's a pleasure to be doing this with you. I do like that. And if you did like it, please do me the favor of hitting the like button. The YouTube gods like that, and it enables other people to maybe have a look at the video and enjoy what we enjoy doing ourselves. This is going to be a good month for you. I think you've got plenty to be looking forward to and things to do. So that has been food for thought, and you get together and remember this, and remember one thing always, and it is that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. So until then, it's bye for now.